Pi Network has 60 million users, and most serious crypto investors have never bought a single token. And that gap right there might be the biggest mispricing in the top 100 right now. Let me explain why this is hitting different in 2025. Pi just dropped a major update around Pi 2 Day, their annual developer event. And instead of the usual vague roadmap stuff, they announced 3 concrete pillars: compute infrastructure, AI integration, and decentralized identity. That's not a white paper promise, that's an ecosystem architecture. And it dropped while PI is sitting at rank 73 on CoinGecko, which means either the market hasn't processed it yet or there's something seriously wrong under the hood. We're going to figure out which one. Because here's what's true. The crypto market doesn't reward user bases, it rewards liquidity events. And Pi Network is at the edge of its biggest one yet. Full external access for a network that's been essentially closed to outside trading for years. When that dam breaks, the question is whether it's a flood of demand or a flood of sell pressure from locked-up miners cashing out. That's the whole thesis right there, and we're going to walk through both sides. So what actually is Pi Network? Strip away the controversy, and here's the core. Pi launched in 2019 as a mobile-first crypto mining app. No GPU rigs, no electricity bill. You tap a button once a day and earn PI tokens. The vision was to make crypto accessible to people who'd never touched MetaMask or set up a hardware wallet. And it worked in terms of adoption. 60 million registered users is not a small number. For comparison, Coinbase has around 100 million verified users globally. Pi built more than half of Coinbase's user base through a phone app and word of mouth. The problem was always the same. When does it become real? Pi ran on an enclosed mainnet for years, meaning you couldn't sell PI on Binance or any major exchange. Tokens existed, but had no real price discovery. That changed when Pi opened up to limited external trading, and now you're seeing real price action for the first time. Think of it like a country that's been closed to foreign investment suddenly opening its stock market. The first wave is always chaotic. Now they're layering in the next phase, compute and AI. The idea is that Pi's massive user network becomes a distributed compute layer, similar in concept to what Render or Akash are doing, but with a consumer-grade device network as the backbone. Add decentralized identity on top, basically a KYC layer built into the protocol that lets you verify you're a real human without handing your passport to a corporation. And you have a stack that's actually relevant to where crypto is going in 2025 and 2026. If you're finding this useful, subscribe to Crypto Sayans. We break down moves like this before they go mainstream. Now let's talk numbers, because this is where it gets real. PI's current circulating supply situation is complicated. Total supply is 100 billion tokens, but a significant chunk is still locked in mining rewards and ecosystem reserves. The fully diluted valuation at current prices puts PI in territory where if it captured even a fraction of Solana's daily active user engagement, price targets in the $5 to $15 range by end of 2026 are mathematically defensible. The $100 target that's floating around crypto Twitter, that requires a market cap that would make PI a top 5 coin globally. Not impossible, but you'd need a macro bull run, full exchange listings including Binance and Coinbase, and actual dApp traction on-chain. That's a lot of dominoes. More realistic bull case, PI gets listed on Binance, which hasn't happened yet and is a massive catalyst if it does. Utility adoption picks up through the compute and identity layer, and the 60 million user base converts even 5% into active on-chain participants. At that conversion rate, Pi would have more daily active users than most top 20 chains. The market would have to reprice that. We're talking $3 to $8 range with real legs. Still a significant multiple from here. Smarter money is watching the KYC verification rate. Pi requires identity verification to access full mainnet features. The percentage of users who've completed KYC is a leading indicator of how many people are actually committed versus just downloaded the app once in 2021 and forgot about it. If that number is growing, that's your signal. Now the risk, and I'm going to be straight with you because that's why you're here. Pi Network's biggest problem has always been transparency. The team has historically been vague about tokenomics details, lockup schedules for core team and early miners, and exchange listing timelines. That kind of opacity in 2025 is a yellow flag. The crypto space has matured. Investors expect on-chain data, clear vesting schedules, and audited contracts. Pi is still catching up on that front. The second risk is supply shock. When fully unlocked, 100 billion tokens is a massive float. If early miners who've been sitting on tokens for 5 years decide to exit the moment liquidity opens up, you get a sustained sell wall that no amount of positive news can break through in the short term. That's not speculation. It's exactly what happened with several other mobile mining projects that promised big and delivered dilution. Third risk, the compute and AI narrative might be too early. Building a distributed compute network on consumer smartphones is technically ambitious. Ambitious often means delayed, and delayed in crypto means other projects eat your narrative. So here's my actual verdict. Pi Network is not a rug. It's also not the second coming of Bitcoin. It's a high-risk, high-optionality bet on whether a massive user base can be converted into a functioning economic ecosystem before the market loses patience. If you're already holding PI from mining, the thesis for holding into 2026 is stronger than it's been. The utility roadmap is more concrete now than it's ever been. If you're thinking about buying on the open market today, size it like a lottery ticket, not a core position. 5% of your altcoin allocation at most, with a hard eye on the Binance listing as your key catalyst to watch. The signal to pay attention to right now is exchange listing news and KYC completion rates. Those two metrics will tell you whether this is a real breakout or a fade before anyone else figures it out. Subscribe to Crypto Sands. We post breakdowns like this every week so you never miss a move. Hit the bell too, because the videos that matter most are the ones that drop before the price does.